You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 58. I'm Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Barnhart.
All right, so today we're going to start with some DC Ghosts comics, some mystery stuff, as they like to call them in those days. It's horror stories, but um, Ghosts number 2 opens with "No Grave Can Hold Me," written by Leo Dorfman, art by John Calnan and George Tuska.
Yeah, kind of. It's interesting. It's not my cup of tea, but it's okay.
Okay.
Oh, the first one is this Phantom boater. I guess he's like, oh my god, the
Like
River
Sharon.
Styx. Yeah, Sharon and River Styx.
Yeah.
And he saves some people from commie Russians, which is, uh, no, not commies.
There's Czarist.
Tsarist.
Yeah.
Same difference.
The commie writing was on the wall.
Right. But it was kind of not bad. You don't see much of Tsarist Russia in comics.
No, you don't.
Or any, no.
If it's Russia, it's usually like, oh, those commies, and it's,
Right.
that's kind of about it.
Hmm.
But this is an interesting story.
Yeah, wonderfully drawn. I love the scene where his family is running away from the Tsarist, and this mysterious boatman crosses over the river, and the Tsarist guards see them and start shooting. So he turns him into ghosts. It's wonderfully drawn,
Yeah.
and it's a great effect. Although it's probably a simple effect, they didn't put any color in it, but it works.
Well, it's kind of drawn like almost like a camera negative too.
Hmm.
But yeah,
It is, yeah, pretty awesome.
yeah. And the boatman gets them safely away from
Hmm.
the Tsar, and it's cool.
Yep.
So.
Oh, we got a Twinkie alert.
Oh.
Minerva Menace with Shazam. This is
Yeah.
the first Shazam I think I've seen.
Is
the
it?
Twinkie?
Yeah, I love Captain Marvel.
Hmm.
So yeah, his Aunt Minerva, she takes over a TV station and brainwashes people into thinking they hate Twinkies.
Yeah. And Captain Marvel comes up and says, "Think for yourselves, kids." Ah, but
And then they're like, "What are we thinking? Twinkies are the shiza."
yeah. The world's mightiest mortal has beaten me again. Oh.
See, I don't ever remember reading any actual comics where he was up against Aunt Minerva, so I'm kind of like, I know she is, but I've never really seen her in any stories that I've read.
Mm-hmm. I should have mean and nasty.
Yeah,
There's a couple of
henchmen.
hip henchmen.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's kind of like Granny Goodness Light, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but our next story we have is Mission Supernatural, written by Leo Dorfman and art by Bob Brown and Wally Wood, which I didn't even recognize it as Wally Wood's.
I think you missed the Boy Croy Ghost.
I think I did.
Oh.
Well, my error. There's a story called The Boy Who Cries Ghost. Is there a credit there? Nope. I made a goof. Usually I'm really good about getting the credits and looking it up. So whatever. There's a story called The Boy Who Cries Ghost. To be uncredited on this
BG.
episode. Yeah, I don't know
I
anybody.
wonder who it could be. Not badly drawn.
Oh, you know what? That might be a K. It might be Bernie Krigstein.
It looks like a G to me.
All right. Well, never mind then.
Okay, lowercase G.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I can't recall now.
But it's a Boy Who Cried Wolf. But there is Ghost. Yay. Okay. One of the problems with this is that, wow, could it be a ghost? I don't know. But
Well,
it looks
the
like
book
a
is-
ghost, but, and it's at the end. This is, wow, what do you think? And of course it's a ghost.
Well, right. It's kind of a cheat. And also, the comic book is called Ghosts.
Mhm.
So, I mean, of course it's going to be a ghost.
Yeah. There's a perfectly, I'm sure, natural reason that a spectral boatman will come over and something.
Right.
But the Boy Who Cries Ghost, just man, what a mean kid. And you're glad when meets real ghosts and gets deceased.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Man, I can't believe I missed that.
and it, Inspector
The
and the
credits.
Stone.
Oh, it's just a one-page filler, isn't it?
No, it's a 2-page filler.
Yeah.
And this poor girl becomes loses her true love and becomes a ghost in the stone.
Oh, a jilted bride.
Hmm.
I've heard that ghost story a million times.
Yeah. Three corpse on a rope.
Oh, you know what? That's why we're looking at two different issues. I'm looking at.
No grave can hold me.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
talking about. Oh, great, great.
Okay.
This is Ghost number 43, not number 2. Excuse me. That's why I was having all these problems.
All right.
But the that art you were complimenting on that first story, The River of Phantoms, was by Frank Redondo, and yeah, his stuff's really great. Uh,
Okay.
I'm so mad.
Oh,
Uh,
don't be. No harm done. All right. Three corpse on a rope.
yeah, Three Corpses on a Rope,
Corpses.
which is the last story in the issue. It's written by Carl Wessler, but with really nice art by Lee Elias.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Yeah, what's the story here? It escapes me.
These three guys are getting. They're in Victorian era, and they're getting bodies
Oh, a
to.
Burke and Hare kind of scenario.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know that. That's
Burke
it.
and Hare, they were like They were famous for being grave robbers, and they got caught.
Ah, okay. So,
The movie, I think, The Body Snatcher, is
mm,
based on them.
but but they get the wrong corpse,
Oh,
and this corpse. Oh,
it's Edgar Allan Poe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But he puts a curse on them, so they get killed by this bell rope.
Weird.
And I don't know, they go check out the bell rope, and then one of them dies, and the other one dies, and the next one says, "I'm going to take care of it." So he cuts the rope and throws it in the water with a weight. But oh, you didn't see this coming. It's tied to his ankle, so it takes him with him. So don't mess with ghost people,
Yeah, they'll
man.
get you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah, it does look like Edgar Allan Poe. A really
Well, if you
mean
looked at the
asshole.
tombstone of the grave they robbed, it said Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, I spotted it like that was the first thing. Oh, okay.
No. Well, I'll be dang. You're
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, Edgar Allan Poe got his revenge. Quoth the Raven, nevermore.
Yeah. So that was Ghosts number 43. And then now we'll look at the second issue of the series. It's, well, Ghosts number 2.
Yeah.
So the lead story is No Grave Can Hold Me. And this is the one with written
Yeah.
by Leo Dorfman with art by John Calnan. Okay. And George Tuska.
Yeah. Oh, there's Zima. Is that her name?
Yeah, something like that.
And she was buried. She's burned as a witch. She wasn't a witch, but actually got burned. She became a witch, and she
Yeah,
got
this guy
revenge.
wanted her. She was a property owner, and this guy
Mhm.
just wanted to get rid of her.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. So,
Yeah,
and
she gets revenge and stuff on him.
yeah, but
Of his
and so he
ill-gotten
killed
gain.
himself
Yeah,
because she destroys his home and his business, and I don't know if she kills his wife or she drives her away.
I think the wife leaves him.
Yeah, well, good choice.
Yeah,
And so he kills himself and becomes a ghost, and she
torments him forever then.
yeah, dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
but serves him right for basically murdering her and
Hmm.
then taking all of her property. So
Yeah.
but the next story is Mission Supernatural. It's written by Leo Dorfman, art by Bob Brown, and inked by Wally Wood. And I didn't even recognize Woody's inks on this.
Hmm.
It didn't jump out me as Wood like at all.
He does a great P38 drawing,
Yeah, yeah.
and it looks good.
Well,
Done
remember all
well.
those Superboys that we read with Bob Brown and Wally Wood doing
Mhm.
art. So they did a lot of work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Yeah. This P38 comes from no, I think
from
well,
beyond the
yeah,
grave.
1971, but this is modern times, so 1971. I
Mhm.
guess it happens because there's a jet plane, and this poor P-38 pilot cannot get back to land.
Mhm.
Some weird thing happened, so and he'll never land. But he sees this. I guess it's a 747 in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So they had trouble down at the airport. They lost power.
Mm-hmm.
So he crashes, and so they can see to land. Was it a ghost? No one knows. But at the end of the story,
Right.
so could be a ghost. It's
Yeah.
oh.
The next story we have is The Sorrow of the Spirits, written by Jack Miller, with art by Kurt Swan and Ray Burnley.
I see the Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, this guy is working on this device that goes into time or something, and goes into the other world.
Yeah.
And the people in the other world use that and come in and take over people's bodies. So
Yeah.
he gets this guy goes out. Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Goes after him.
Because Genghis Khan is his direct descendant, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is malarkey, because this guy's a white guy.
Although something like 20 or 30% of all mankind is descended from Genghis Khan.
Oh yeah, I guess he pulled
Got
a lot of tail back in those days.
Mhm.
Well, with all the pillaging and the unmentionable.
And tremendous. He had hundreds of wives.
Well, there you go. Sure, I'm sure some of them got honkified later. So
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Sure, I guess.
Oh, so then all these other ghosts come out, and so, and in the very end, the guy who's trying to help him was being taken over by Nero. Okay.
Was that the end of the story?
Yeah, that's the end of the story.
Yeah, it was kind of crummy. But the guy went. Oh, but Genghis Khan did take over his body, and the guy was killed or something, wasn't he?
No, yeah. No, yeah, he took and he had a bad horse wreck and died.
Well, okay. A horse wreck. He fell off the horse.
Yeah. Enter the Ghost.
That's right. And this story is by, excuse me, Joe Samson. I can't read my handwriting. That's really, man. Oh, Samixon. Joe Samixon, with art by Ruben Moriera.
Yeah, it's a true to life, death confession. Oh. Yeah. There was a acting troupe.
Oh, this one. Okay.
And,
now I remember.
The one guy's coming up, and this other guy doesn't like it. It's kind of like All About Eve, which is a wonderful movie.
You were telling me about that. I haven't seen it.
Fantastic.
Isn't that the one with George Sanders?
Yes. He was one of my heroes.
He was one of your heroes?
Yeah, he's a great cat. I want to be a cat like George Sanders.
He was, the old Batman show, there were 3 different Mr. Freezes, and he was the first of the 3. He's good.
Yeah, he is. Oh, so this play is being enacted in this British town. I guess English town.
Mm-hmm.
And the play was against this mean guy, Lord Boynton, and he cursed the play. So if you do the play, you'll die.
Mm-hmm.
So
quite an ego the guy has.
Yeah, he does. So the evil actor, and aren't they all evil?
I don't know about that,
No,
but
I'm being silly.
Okay.
Dresses like Lord Boynton, and he sees Lord Boynton, and he falls out the window. And
okay.
Or he dies of heart attack. Wait a minute. What is... Okay.
He's dead.
He falls out the window. Yep, that's what happens.
Okay.
But they say, oh, it must have been a mirror. Or could it have been a ghost? I don't know. Okay. Oh, the Galleon of Death.
Yeah, and this is pretty cool. It's written by Leo Dorfman with really nice art by Tony DeZuniga.
What a great name.
It is a great name. Particularly known for his work on Jonah Hex.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a Spanish galleon sunk by pirates. There's this beautiful girl ghost, and the guy and one of the treasure hunters going after the Spanish galleon falls in love with her.
Oh, okay.
And they start finding doubloons and all that. And he swims in there and he sees a bunch of ghosts.
Oh
And
man.
his partner doesn't believe him, of course. And he swims down to be with her and drowns.
Yeah.
But he lives as a ghost with his ghost girlfriend, and everybody's happy, it looks like.
Oh well, that's good too, I guess.
Yeah, he looks happy. Or maybe not. I mean,
No, I don't know. That looks like I don't know.
I mean, he's got his hands in gold and letting it drop, so I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be ambivalent.
Ambiguous.
Could that be? Yeah, maybe ambiguous.
You feel ambivalent about
Yeah.
something,
Oh, okay.
but ambiguous
You're
is
correct.
okay. So the next story we have is it Vengeance from? Oh wait, Lantern in the Rain.
Yeah.
Is this a? Oh, it's a 2-page filler.
Oh.
I don't have credits for that, but if you want to talk about it,
Your lantern saves a train, but the guy's dead. Who could have done it? He could have saved the train. Somebody drew on a small kid.
yeah,
Said, "Boy, help that Mangong hit plus house." I have no idea.
yeah, yes.
Interesting.
Well, this is a much loved comic, I guess, or to some kid,
Mhm.
So, but
Or not.
I don't know. So the next story we have is what is the Ghost Battalions.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, a bunch of different.
I did have credit for the Lantern in the Rain. Erwin Hasten did the art, who was a great artist from the golden age of comics. So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, man, I'm just off today.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Oh,
but the Ghost Battalions.
yeah. Well, it's the comic books. Oh,
Sure,
this
blame
guy-
it on the comics.
I always do.
I thought you blamed it on the Bossa Nova.
Yeah, it's a cool song. This kid is soldier has shell shocked because his troops returned into Ghost and ran away. But the doctor saying, "Oh, look at there's a bunch of this happens all the time." I didn't know this. I thought I knew history. It shows a regiment in Gallipoli disappearing, and New Zealand. Let's see.
So was World War One then?
Yeah. And
Hey.
1898 Khyber Pass,
Oh, sure.
and let's see, and a Chinese force.
I read this, but I don't remember a thing about it.
Yeah. So then we says, how could they disappear like smoke? Ghost.
Oh,
So
that's it. That's the plot.
yeah. What happened to those lost battalions? Is there some Twilight dimension where these spectral warriors are doomed to go on fighting phantom battles forever?
I hope so. That would be great. That would
Yeah.
be a movie I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of been done. I think there's an episode of Doctor Who where that is
I'm sure it has been.
from the 60s. But so, moving on, we've got some Green Lantern, Silver Age stuff
Yeah.
to talk about. And I'm pretty amped about it.
Yeah,
And-
I like
and-
them too.
This first one we've got to talk about, this is definitely a key issue. It's Green Lantern number 40, and it's Secret Origin of the Guardians. And it's written by John Broome with art by Gil Kane and inked by Sid Green. Now this is great though because we have a meeting of the Golden Age Green Lantern and Hal Jordan. They share this adventure, and then we meet they're talking about the Guardians, and we meet Krona for the very first time.
Yeah.
So this is
We see Doiby growing up.
Doiby Dickles.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he was not an adult.
Well, I mean, he's changed. Well,
yeah.
He's older.
All right.
Secret Origin. Is this the first time Secret Origin?
Secret Origin was a thing that DC would like to do. Secret Origin of this, and then
Why not Origin? Is that just
because the secret seems like wow, it's now being revealed.
yeah.
You have to remember they would do things like, some of the time they would, put things out there and not do an origin story first.
Right.
The Justice League of America is a prime example. They debuted in Showcase. I don't remember the number, and without a team origin, they just debuted as a fighting unit already and had several adventures. and then they got their own book, and then it was a little while, and then they got an origin. People were like, how did the League get together?
Yeah.
So
That'd be interesting to find. Well, I guess Superman, the origin was a few. It wasn't the first one, was it?
well, it was like the first page in the first issue
Oh,
of
was
Action
it?
Comics.
Was it? Okay, all right. I'm trying to think. So I guess the Batman was the same way. Or
Batman was a secret origin.
Yeah.
Batman's origin wasn't revealed
Yeah.
in his.
And-
Well, now I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, was his origin in that first story? And I don't think it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, I had no problem with showing an origin afterwards. If I want to get into a comic book, it's a good story, that's fine. And then find out later. I do want an origin sometime.
Sure.
Okay.
Zatara, the magician, he also debuted in that first issue of Action Comics, and you read that story, and they make it seem as though he's been on all these adventures, and you should know him already, even though it's his first story.
That's clever.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It'd be interesting. I have read so many, or seen so many Batman origins, and just by different people, and it might be a nice trade paperback.
Oh, like just all of the origins of Batman?
Yeah. And it'd be interesting to see how people did them differently and all.
Well,
and,
sure,
and
I
some
think
of them are quite good. But now I'm kind of bored by them, to tell you the truth, though. But
yeah, I mean, it's frustrating when you go to the movies and it seems like every first movie has to be an origin story, and unfortunately, half the time they do like the ultimate adversary of that hero as the villain in that first movie.
Yeah.
Although, with the Green Lantern movie, I wish they'd have had Sinestro as the bad guy. It was great to see him in it, but
they're saving for later, but there was no later.
There won't be any later, unfortunately, unless the Justice League pans out, and maybe he'll be a villain in a future Justice League movie.
Yeah,
but it would have to be like against like the Legion of Doom or something, because you're not going to have just Sinestro against the League.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In the movies, it slows it down. I guess people don't know how Batman started. There are some people in the jungle who doesn't know that Bruce Wayne was orphaned at an early age.
Yeah, but do we know because we always get that origin?
Yeah.
Except the old Batman TV show didn't do it. I think they mentioned it once.
Mm-hmm. Because it's kind of a downer. And
it is. He's an orphan.
Light-hearted.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary. I mean, I don't know. When I was watching Batman, this guy fights crime. On a movie, do I need to know this?
His parents were murdered? That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of heavy.
It's too much like a Disney movie.
It is. Man, every kid's a friggin' orphan or becomes an orphan.
Yeah. And, oh, well. But, all right, this is cool. I enjoyed it immensely.
It's cool because Alan Scott travels to Earth 1 and has an adventure with Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
And they go to Oa and meet the Guardians.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I like the old Saw party with Doiby.
Yeah.
The wisecracking cabbie. Which doesn't exist anymore. So.
Right. Remember we talked about what a great secret ID a cab driver would be.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But they've done it actually a couple times. I believe Ebony White, the spirit sidekick, was also a cabbie.
Yeah. But they're the cabbie, but not they're the sidekick, but not the hero.
But the hero always has some they're a policeman or they're the station manager at a radio place like Alan Scott. They always have some cool, glamorous job or what it seems, at least at the time, a very cool career.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't just be a guy working a regular kind of job. Like I said, you never see a superhero who works in a factory.
Right. Or a soda jerk,
that would be great. The soda jerk superhero.
Oh, I'll finish this right after I save the world.
It's almost like, well, they need to have a really great job so they can afford to take time off sometimes and not be like, oh crap, I'm broke. I wonder if that plays into it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Would it be evil for Superman to pay for something to create diamonds out of coal and
just
get rid of a job? Why does he need a job?
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Because he could just go and patrol the world and do whatever he wanted.
Right.
If he wanted to have a secret identity, he could just be a guy. He could be have a better secret identity by being more anonymous.
Yeah. Or it could be a bum. Transient. Wouldn't that make a good
And,
um,
well,
secret identity?
I,
But
I
no one notices transients.
you know, you remember in the '90s, and I think we mentioned this before. Like Spawn was a homeless character.
Oh yeah.
The Max was a homeless character.
Yeah, I don't like either one.
I don't either.
So-
I mean, I would like somebody
so-
in a classic superhero vein,
Right.
but to be a transient or a drifter.
Mhm.
You know, not necessarily
Well,
homeless.
I guess the Hulk in the TV show was a drifter.
Yeah, he really was. You know, and Bruce Banner had that kind of lifestyle
Mhm.
for a while. You know,
Yeah.
so that kind of works. But he's the closest there is. You know, he doesn't have a home.
Mhm.
He's always on the move.
Yeah,
So, I mean, Banner is probably the one that comes closest to that.
and it works
Yeah.
until he gets mad.
Yeah. It's like, oh crap. Well, that's why he has to, you know, in the
Mhm.
show, remember, he would always settle, you know, it would almost seem like he's going to settle into this town,
Yeah.
and then something happens. There's somebody like, you know, has a protection scheme or whatever
Right.
against the nice folks who've hired him to wash dishes at their
Yeah.
diner,
Mhm.
and then he hulks out. So,
Yeah, it's the fugitive.
Yeah.
With the Hulk, and it worked. It was fine. I wish the Hulk would have been more violent, and because it's kids show, and when they was making that, it was worried about violence on TV. So
yeah.
I even
Well, and the Hulk would almost always-
car, and that's about it. And
Yeah.
it's sort of same thing with A-Team. Very.
Do you ever wish that the Hulk show had the plots had been a little more science fiction-y? Not necessarily fighting super villains, but like he met a real monster or something.
It'd be cool if he had met the Abomination. That would have been cool. But
Yeah.
the Abomination.
He did meet another Hulk, Richard Kiel, I believe,
Oh,
who
Oh,
was
then
who
why-
was up for the role originally.
I'd not see that.
There was an episode where he ran into somebody who was like a scientist or something and had become. There was an earlier form of the Hulk, and this guy was older than him,
Mhm.
and you know he did fight that guy. I remember that episode.
Man, Richard Kiel would have been a great Abomination.
Yeah,
And
sure.
yeah,
Let's go
okay.
back to this Green Lantern story.
That's cool. A comet. Okay, they're having this party, and a comet comes, and so the Green Lantern. This is on the other Earth.
This is on Earth 2. This is Alan Scott.
hmm So he uses his green lantern ring, and to smack the
Comet.
comet or meteor or whatever. What is it?
It
But-
is an object from space. We will
Yeah.
call it that.
Okay. And it hits it and it disappears. And then Dorby, who's watching Green Lantern instead of watching the road, runs into a tree, and then the tree is about to smash into what is it? Oh,
Toby calls him
Goitrude.
Gertrude is the cab.
Yeah, but it's Goitrude.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
cool.
and Derby calls Green Lantern Lantern. Lantern.
Yeah. Help, Lantern. So Green Lantern moves the car, but it also moves the wood. And the original Green Lantern could not affect wood.
That's right.
So, so this is highly mysterious. So he said, oh, well, maybe the other Green Lantern's ring is fixed and he can mess with yellow.
Yeah.
So he goes to,
Earth 1.
Earth 1. I
And-
find these extraordinarily complex.
I love the multiverse. I love the Earth 1 and Earth 2 stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's my favorite period. I mean,
Mhm.
post-Crisis, although Crisis on Infinite Earths is a wonderful story, post-Crisis, DC just really takes a dive for me. It's just not as fun, and it's more complicated and less enjoyable at that point.
Yeah, I don't know why they did. I mean, I know it's complicated, but I think they overdid but now it's complicated again. So
Well, right. I mean,
So
well,
why'd you waste our time?
I know. The multiverse was a perfect soft reboot because they didn't have to just say all the Golden Age stuff never happened. They got to say, oh yeah, they just exist on these parallel Earths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you could do all kinds of fun things with that.
Mm-hmm.
Post-Crisis, it was a reboot. They tried to blend all those timelines, and it's just a mess. And then they've done it again with the New 52, and it's
what
like,
do you think of that?
What?
I haven't looked at any.
What?
The New 52.
There are some good books, but I would say there's less that I like than than I don't. There's more books I don't like. There's
Hmm.
more things I'm like, no thanks.
Yeah. Heart Lobo was rebooted.
Yeah, and they totally changed his thing. The guy that we thought was Lobo forever is apparently an imposter. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, boo.
Yeah, boo.
Boo.
There's a lot of boo things going on in the New 52. Now there are some things they've done that are really great. The Green Lantern books have been good. The Flash is good. Aquaman is great. Batman, the main Batman title, is great. Justice League stuff has been really mediocre, which is disappointing because that should be like the flagship book. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, Justice League, it's gonna be great," and they're like, "This isn't so great,"
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
So, but there are some good titles in the New 52. Swamp Thing is good. Animal Man is good.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah.
But it's exhausting to keep up with it.
Well, yeah.
And that's kind of one reason I stopped getting comics. And another reason, same thing with music and trying to keep up the new music. I just, man, this is exhausting to keep up with.
Yeah.
And I don't care anymore.
I like to have my toe in it with new comics, but honestly, I'd rather just keep going back and reading old stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love Silver and Bronze Age and Golden Age stuff. That's it's where the fun is, and it's where all the classic stuff is. And I think there's still there are a lot of great stories. So
All right.
it's a great. I like comics to be like a mine or a field to be mined, rather than a minefield I have to try and wander through, like with current comics.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty
speaking
good
of
analogy.
great comics, I'm having a good time with this one.
Yeah.
So he meets the Earth One Green Lantern,
Hal Jordan. Yeah.
And so Hal Jordan tells a story about the it's really a packet of pure energy that has been created 10 billion years before. So
Yeah.
So man, what a cool planet they go back to.
Yeah.
Owens.
Yeah. Oa and the Guardians didn't used to be dwarves.
Yeah.
But they were immortal.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
good-looking guys. And they rode frogs and races. What a cool...
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome.
But everything was great, and they had a super advanced culture and peace, and everything was groovy with the Owens. But they had Krona, who was a scientist. He wanted to look into forbidden secrets, the origins of their existence. And they expelled Krona for his experiments.
And he released hate and evil into the world.
Yeah.
So this is a Pandora story.
Sure.
Or actually, more closer is the Eve of the Apple.
Sure.
And that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I love well done future societies.
Yeah.
It looks cool, and I like the goofball clothes. I wish this is what I expected to dress like in the year 2013, in the 1970s. You know,
sure.
Something super different, except I'm wearing, both of us, I'm wearing just a regular shirt, and you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans, and wearing jeans. And we went back to 1975. No one would, say boo. You know?
Well, people also thought in this decade, by this decade, interstellar travel would be like old hat. I'm reading this story, this Philip K. Dick story at home, and he's talking about people going to Ganymede and back as if it was like no big deal.
Yeah.
I'm like, we haven't got anywhere close to Ganymede.
Sigh.
I know, sigh.
Yeah. Science fiction has failed us.
I know. No, the world failed science fiction.
Right.
Because science fiction was supposed to become science fact.
Science fiction did fail us. They did not warn us about passwords. What an amazing problem it is. And remembering these passwords, and there was no hint of warning about this.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want my flying car. Darn it. All right. This is cool. So we figure out about the Guardians. The Guardians were, since hate and evil was released, the Guardians were started, and that's the Green Lanterns.
Yeah, they started the Green Lantern Corps. But actually, and it was retconned later, there was the Manhunter robots that were the kind of the prototype for the Green Lanterns. But again, that's not in this story.
Yeah. What an interesting story. Don't you wish Green Lanterns existed? It's kind
Yeah,
of cool.
I wish. Yes, I wish all of this was real.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want a, I don't know, have Bizarro come up and start causing trouble and stuff like
But
that.
if you had a Green Lantern ring,
Yeah, that'd be fine.
yeah, here's the thing: if you were drafted in the Green Lantern Corps, would you
Oh
be
yeah,
into
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. No, I'm saying though, I'm not. It'd be kind of cool to live in a society with superheroes, but
Yeah,
the super villains would be,
they would probably outnumber superheroes if
yeah.
people started getting superpowers, or they had
Would they?
gimmicky technology to be supervillains. I think supervillains would probably outnumber superheroes. I think people, at least initially.
Well, they do in comics, and
Yeah,
I don't. I think most people are good, and so
but
which
I think
is
maybe we would have more anti-heroes. People like,
yeah,
yeah, I'll knock over a bank because why not?
mm,
And
yeah.
but
Yeah,
also, and
that's
they would
not an
probably.
anti-hero though.
Well, no, I mean like maybe they would be doing
Oh,
heroic things,
mm. But they'd
but
also be crushing coal and the diamonds,
and they'd
and
also
so
be crushing people's bones. They probably would be less scrupulous as super quote
right.
unquote superheroes.
Oh, I better be a more polite society because then you wouldn't know. You won't. You wouldn't curse out somebody who, what could be a Superman or something like that.
Sure,
And
because they might melt your shoes,
yeah,
if
and
you're
then that'd be
lucky.
a nicer place because
Yeah.
they probably know who I am, so I better not better be nice.
But here's the thing: if there was a world of superheroes,
hmm
would they become fascists
Hmm.
if nobody could really touch them?
Somewhat, some wouldn't.
Yeah,
And that's the greatness about Superman is that he
he
constantly fights that.
he could rule the world, but he's like, no way.
Mhm.
It's never entered his mind.
hmm
So I love that.
Yeah.
So
All right. So we have
we're so tangenty today,
yeah.
but it's good stuff.
Yeah. Krona comes back and
Yeah.
he still wants he wants to discover the beginning of the world, and it's kind of a that doesn't sound too bad, and it's sort of
But
like,
it's forbidden for their society.
yeah.
So it's so
Mhm.
super taboo.
Yeah, it's I just thought it was an interesting taboo,
Yeah.
and
Well,
so kind of
but
surprising.
their own culture, they believe that if they discovered the origins of the universe, that it would destroy time and space and stuff.
Yeah, there we go with the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, so there's all these natural disasters, and one of the so they got this rushing water um, tidal waves and such.
Okay.
And they freeze one of them, and the other Green Lantern makes 2 atomic reactors to melt them to steam, which is kind of cool. And then this volcano was ripped up, and man, some really cool stuff.
Yeah. 2 Green Lanterns are better than 1, apparently.
Yeah, that is kind of cool disaster stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so
How do they beat Krona?
well,
Well,
one
what's-
thing doesn't Krona takes over one of the Green Lanterns.
Oh, that's right.
And it's kind of cool. Well,
That's right. And that's right. The Guardians, they call both of them back to Oa, and they basically tell Hal Jordan, we're going to take away your ring, and you're not going to be Green Lantern anymore. We want Alan Scott to be Lantern.
And that makes Hal Jordan mad.
Yeah.
So Krona's really powerful. He can take over the Guardians.
Yeah. He's
Pretty bad.
He's no pushover.
hmm So Alan Scott gets into Hal Jordan's mind and their power and defeats Krona because Krona thinks that Yellow's going to stop Hal Jordan, but it don't because
The impurities of the rings were switched or something because of that comet, right? Temporarily.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's something to that effect.
Yeah. Oh, but I don't know, pretty good fight. I love when the Green Lantern comes out of his ring. Looks really cool.
Oh yeah,
It's
because
a nice effect.
yeah.
Mhm. That's the great thing about comics is they're a visual delight.
Oh yeah, and you can the sky's the limit,
Hmm.
so
You know, I am I'm two ways on the death penalty, but they they let Krona live and sends him off into the universe,
yeah,
uh, where he cannot hit any planet or anything. But
yeah.
they should kill him.
Well, right. I mean,
I'm sorry,
I'm
he
I'm
he
I'm
can
of
destroy
the
the whole world.
I am of the belief that, especially when it comes to superheroes and supervillainy, sometimes the hero has no alternative but to kill the villain.
Although
It's the
sometimes,
best option to protect people in the future.
yeah,
You
Batman
know,
should have killed the Joker.
long time ago,
Yeah.
because he keeps busting out of Arkham and he keeps just killing people.
Hmm.
He's killed thousands of
When
people.
he was a goofball, that's something else. And doing
Right.
goofy stuff, that's all right.
Yeah, in the Silver Age, he was pretty watered down, but in the Golden Age, murderer.
Hmm.
Bronze Age and forward, mass murderer.
Hmm.
So no, that's some villains need to be euthanized.
Hmm.
So although I would hate to not read any Joker stories again,
Right. So
but
that's the problem. You want
yeah,
to read Joker stories, so
yeah. So, but anyway, next we have Green Lantern number 43, and the story is the catastrophic crimes of major
what a
disaster.
great name.
Yeah, that is great.
Mm.
It's written by Gardner Fox with art by the great Gil Kane and inked by Sid Green. And this is great. It's a Hal Jordan and the Flash team up.
Yeah, and in an odd way too.
Their powers get swapped.
Well,
Oh,
that's
sorry.
not the coolest thing.
Oh,
The
okay.
coolest thing is someone sends letters to their girlfriends telling them who they are,
Yeah.
and they go meet, and then their powers get swapped. And but it's kind of, I'm kind of, it's such a cool idea. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
And
No, I enjoyed this story a lot.
yeah, it was fun. Uh, but some major disaster. What a great name. So Green Lantern has a lady boss.
Yeah, Carol is his boss and romantic interest, and
Mhm.
she's in love with Green Lantern and thinks Hal's a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very complicated. And she's also Star Sapphire, if you recall.
Oh
Remember?
no.
We
Oh,
read
that's
that.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Oh yeah.
So I think the relationship with Carol is very complicated.
Oh,
Oh.
it always is.
So yeah, the Flash and Gal pals meet up, and then problems happen. Major disaster strikes.
Yeah. We got some. Okay. The Green Lantern. What do you call the when he uses his ring? If they're
To make stuff,
yeah. What is that called?
they are constructs.
Constructs.
That's what you refer
We
to them.
get two huge hands holding up a building. We have a what in the world is a lasso? Yeah,
Probably.
and he makes a big butterfly net
Yeah.
and a big
Like a crane or like
yeah
the Jaws of
crane.
Life or something. Well, no,
Yeah.
this is before the Jaws of Life, but yeah.
So the powers get switched, and so they don't know their powers have been switched. They just know they've lost their power,
Right, so
because they
they-
don't know how to use the other power.
Right. But this is really great because once they realized, oh, I didn't lose my powers, we just switched powers temporarily. Then you see them spring into action, and it's really great. But I love about this is like the hero is the man, not the power,
Yeah,
which is really great.
yeah, and a good message.
Yeah.
And which is why they're not evil. So they'd
Right.
be the villains we were talking about earlier. And what a great idea! Because switching that you can't destroy the power, but you can switch it because of the law of conservation of energy that she mentions in the comic book.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Gardner
Somebody-
Fox wrote this, and he's great.
Yeah.
So
And but Major does. I don't know. He gets this idea, and he breaks into Pieface's office.
Yeah.
And reads his diary.
that's right. And he found out the secret identity of the Green Lantern.
Yeah, man. That's bad on Pieface.
Yeah.
That's pretty. He should have Man, it should have put a lock on it.
Yeah, most diaries do have a lock, but it was a
Yeah.
case file that he
Mhm.
kept because he was the Green Lantern's pal and big fan or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
they were
Green
able to
Lantern
resolve
was
this.
very. Green Lantern was embarrassed.
Yeah,
Oh, but Major Disaster finds us, and he's just a regular schlub.
yeah.
So he,
Later, he has actual disaster-causing powers. At this point,
yeah,
he's using like
yeah.
machines
So
and
I don't
things.
know how I don't know how he gets all this money to make these machines and all that. It doesn't really. He
Robbery.
discovers this, and then he becomes a super villain. I mean, and
Well, we also don't really get a peek at his secret ID, so maybe he had some means.
maybe, but
know?
it looks, yeah. But disaster after disaster, and well, their double date doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So they actually use fisticuffs and no
Yeah.
superhero stuff. So.
It's pretty cool to see them. They get in a brawl with Major Disaster's henchmen, and it's just bare knuckle or gloved, fighting, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's. Oh, Flash uses, so they find out that they switch powers.
Yeah.
The Flash looks at somebody's an FBI fingerprint card.
Yeah.
And he just zaps it, and then
This is how they find out who's secret,
Yeah.
who the Major
Yeah.
Disaster
and then
is.
the Construct goes out and finds it,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Well, yeah.
Paul Booker was a punk crook.
Yeah.
A few months ago. So what in the world? I don't know. That'd make a nice comic book in itself. How did Paul Booker become so powerful?
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah, an origin story about villains, they do them, but they're never as satisfying as the hero.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm trying to think of a good one, but I really.
the Joker's origin is pretty intense. With the whole bit of. You've read The Killing Joke, haven't you? If not, I'll lend it to you. But where he was hired the Red Hood gang, and they used him, and then he kind of tripped up, and he lost everything and went nuts and things. So.
Okay. Well, we won't see Major Disaster because he blows himself up.
But not really, because he comes back later.
Does he? Oh, okay. Well,
But
cool.
he's too cool looking a villain to just kill off. But it's always good to let you think that the villain is dead, and then when they come back, it's a great surprise. It's dramatic,
Yeah. Luckily, the Coast City, which is where all the action's happening.
Yeah.
Everyone gets amnesia. Yay!
Well, Green Lantern uses his ring to cause them amnesia, I thought. To make them forget. So that people wouldn't.
Guess I don't. Do they?
Was that it? Oh no, they used the ring to make sure that Iris and Carol don't know the secret IDs. That's what it is.
No, but it looks like no. It's just an accidental amnesia.
Okay.
It's an after effect of all those meteors that fell. So they decided not to tell. I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
And so they. Oh man. So
Your Honor, I didn't file my taxes. I forgot there was a meteor.
Yeah. So they decide not to fix their girl, so they don't know that their secret identities.
Right.
Yay!
Yeah. Okay.
That was dang good. I'll enjoy that.
Good. So, we're moving on to some Incredible Hulk. We've got Hulk number 188. The story is Mind Over Mayhem, written by Len Wein, and terrific art by Herb Trimpe and Joe Staton.
Great villain. The Gremlin, an adolescent Einstein.
He was the son of the Gargoyle, the first supervillain the Hulk ever faced.
Ooh.
And he was a commie, too.
Mm-hmm.
Through and through.
Yeah. Man, the Gremlin. Make sure that's it.
Think about it, the Gremlin from the Kremlin.
Oh,
see what you got there?
Man, what an ugly guy.
Yeah.
He's a kid, though.
Yeah.
But he's genius. Here's Ross, and Ross is actually not as stupid as he usually is.
Is he that much stupid, or is he just more mad? He's less blustery, maybe?
But he's a nicer guy. he will give up his life and all that stuff. I mean, he's brave and all that stuff.
Well, he is. I mean,
yeah, I guess I don't know.
you know, I know you said he's the Jameson of the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of the Hulk, but
Jameson's a coward, usually.
Jameson is a coward, and Thunderbolt Ross is a soldier, and he is brave, and he. I mean, even Jameson has some good points too.
Yeah.
He's not
entertaining.
Well, no, but I mean, Jameson had, you know, there's good stuff about him.
Right.
You know, I mean, Jameson loves his boy, his son John Jameson, do anything for him, and Thunderbolt Ross is the same way with his daughter Betty. So those family ties are strong. So anyway.
Okay. All right. So they captured the Hulk. The Gremlin has, and they're up in winter. Is it Winterfrost? Bitterfrost.
Yeah.
It is
somewhere in Siberia, I think.
He's got Ross and
some Shield agents.
And Shield agents.
Hey, look, there's Nick Fury. Not from the Shield, the Shield helicarrier. They're talking. They're kind of like coordinating this mission. This guy Quartermain is locked up with Thunderbolt Ross, and he's found a way to escape.
He's annoying.
Yeah, I don't like him.
He's too cocksure and not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, and then he's got that big smile. Looks from a.
He's real smarmy and yeah. So.
Oh, so they escape. What the Gremlin's trying to do is to get his mind into the Hulk's.
Sure.
But he can't because the Hulk is too. He's too low level intelligent or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're having trouble with it. Oh. Oh God! They make Ross a cigar out of.
It's like a reconstituted. It's dehydrated.
Yeah, it's synthetic.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, Quartermain does that. I thought that was really odd. I knew you were going to bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's probably the most far-fetched thing in this comic. Which is saying a lot.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, but then the Hulk or the Gremlin has this pet to keep the Hulk from escaping, and it's
a Triceratops type thing.
Well, except it has hands, and it has legs like a kangaroo or a rabbit,
and it rhymes.
Oh, it does speak in rhyming verse. But what's its name? It's like Droog. Droog, that's right.
Which means friend in Russian.
That's right. I knew that from reading A Clockwork Orange. And Droog is orange. He's an orange Triceratops man.
Oh.
But yeah, he fights the Hulk, and he's intelligent, and he speaks in rhyme the whole time.
That's pretty cool.
And Hulk gets mad and smashes him. They fight. The fight is great.
Yeah. Here's an ad. Count Dante, deadliest man alive. I've got to wiki him. I keep forgetting.
Let me tell you something. I was on Facebook today, and somebody in like on a group that I posted that very ad was saying, like, did anyone ever respond to this? Like, was that his real hair? What are these death matches he talks about? Did that really take place? Like, you know, like, so I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
Great fight with Droog and Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk speaks in monosyllables, and this dinosaur thing
is very erudite,
and it speaks in rhymes.
Yeah,
I'd love to be able to do that. I enjoy that about the
demon Etrigan.
Yeah, it's entertaining. I'm sure that somebody enjoys writing, or maybe they consider it. Oh no, I gotta rhyme something.
I remember this really enjoyable Spider-Man story I read where he and Thor were battling this. They were twin demons from some dimension, and they spoke in rhyme. And it was totally like, well, we can't use Etrigan, so we have these guys. And it was really cool. That was from, I think that was from the late 90s. I think I was in high school when I read that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, they save themselves, but the Hulk is still fighting Droog.
Yeah.
So they don't know what happens, but they're just... The satellite will beam down destruction on Bitterfrost.
Yeah.
And it blows up in a really nicely well done before and after picture.
Yeah. So yeah, that was from S.H.I.E.L.D. coordinated that whole thing.
Yeah. And Ross is sad that the Hulk's dead because his daughter likes him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, see,
That is cool.
he's got more depth of character than we know. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next issue we've got is it's the very next issue actually.
Yay.
It's
I love it when that happens.
I know, and we will have more of that, I think, hopefully, here and there. But it's Hulk number 189, and the story is None Are So Blind. Written again by Len Wein, art by Herb Trimpe and Joe Staton, inking.
It's a Frankenstein story,
Sure.
and um,
Hulk comes upon a little blind girl,
mhm.
and she's singing.
Yeah, and fishing,
Yeah,
and
and Hulk likes her singing. It sounds
Yeah.
nice.
yeah, and so she doesn't notice how horrible he is, but she likes him,
Mm-hmm.
and he falls to the ice, and um, these guys come with guns, but they're trying to save their cow
Right.
because of these darklings, and so they have no
Right.
idea what the darklings are.
Now,
So,
the Darklings are the name these people have given them. They have another name.
mhm.
They are the Moloids. They are minions of the Mole Man,
Yeah,
which is really great because the Hulk is going to help these people against the Darklings,
mhm.
the Moloids, and he goes underground and fights them, and
Yeah, and they swarm him, but
Yeah.
they don't do no
they're
good.
all weak. The Mole Man is he was presumed dead in his last adventure or whatever recorded in comics, and he is in this part of Russia trying to find this element to cure his own blindness.
Yeah. And ironically, the little girl's grandfather
Yeah.
is trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, only he's got the stuff to do it, and so
Mhm.
that's why the Mole Man is sending the Moloids.
Man, there's a little story in here. Mole Man is trapped with this river of lava.
Oh, it's a flashback. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Mole Man gets out by having his minions walk into the lava until they make a bridge.
Yeah.
And man, that is cold.
Well, and that's devotion for you. I mean, he's a god to them.
Hmm.
And I always forgot that he was blind. I thought he was just very nearsighted. But yeah, I guess he's got a radar sense like Daredevil.
Hmm.
And was a recent story, and I haven't read it, in the current Daredevil story series where they meet and there's a fight with Daredevil and the Mole Man, and I think that's so cool because I never would have thought of putting the two of them together.
Hmm.
I really want to read
Yeah,
that.
that'd be sort of.
Man, I love Daredevil.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, the Hulk, he gets the stuff to cure the little girl, and he fights his way out of the Mole Man's lair, and just
Yeah.
smashes tons and tons of Moloids.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So it cures the little girl, and she sees him as this handsome guy,
Yeah.
and
And she gives him a kiss, and then instead of staying with the people, he bails right away.
because he believes that she sees him like she wants to see him,
Yeah.
and so he doesn't want to destroy that illusion.
And also, he doesn't want anyone to see that he's crying.
That's true.
He's been
too.
so moved,
Mhm.
by the tender heart. It's really sweet, like the Hulk is, confused and, a lot all the time, but it's not that he isn't deep. He's
Mhm.
very emotive.
Mhm.
He's pure emotion, really,
Yeah.
in the most primal sense. So I think it's really great to see stories like that. It's what
Okay.
makes the Hulk great. So then we have Hulk number 199, and Shield Shall Follow,
Yeah.
written by Len Wein, with art by Sal Buscema and Joe Staton, inking.
Yeah. They find themselves Hulk is in Citrus City. If,
Which is really close to where the Man Thing is all the
Mhm.
time. He's not in this issue.
Yeah. Why is he in the middle of the square if he's trying to get away from people? I do not know.
He doesn't always think things through.
Yeah. Sometimes-
He's just wandering. In his wanderings,
Oh.
that's where he gets through.
yeah, they try to use water hoses on him.
The firefighters do.
But,
And
yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
He smashes a fire truck.
Oh, it was during Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws is playing. So this is what,
Mhm.
76 or 7 then?
Yes, 76.
Yeah. I'm good. So we see Nick Fury talking to Thunderbolt Ross and Doc Samson.
Who's angrier, Hulk or Nick Fury?
Good question.
Because well, Doc Samson's pretty cool.
I like Doc Samson a lot. He's a psychiatrist, Leonard Samson, who was he was given some gamma. He got treated with gamma rays or something, and then turned into a weapon used against the Hulk.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish he was in something currently. I like Doc Samson a lot.
Mm-hmm. He just wears a T-shirt
With a lightning bolt on
Yeah.
it. He's kind of he looks like the Flash Gordon
Yeah.
from the movie,
Mhm.
although that came later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he gives the Hulk a good fight.
Yeah. And then Hulk is captured by S.H.I.E.L.D., I believe.
They have these stupid things coming out of helicopter grabbing the Hulk, and you know they ain't gonna work.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they grab him, but it doesn't work. He busts loose, and
You know, they could have asked me or any 8-year-old.
like, that will not work.
Yeah.
It's the Hulk we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention in that previous couple issues where Glenn Talbot was also a captive of the Gremlin, and he's like basically a vegetable now because the Gremlin like wiped his brain.
And he's Betty's husband.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't care so much for that, so
Yeah.
I ignored it.
Well, and nobody likes Glenn Talbot.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh well, they go after the Hulk.
Yeah.
And because the Hulk, of course, gets away in the swamp, so
Yeah.
they're searching for these cool ships.
Yeah. And Doc Samson is leading the way, and Quartermain I think is there too.
Mm-hmm.
Who's an ass.
Yeah, it's sort of. He's just. I don't know. I don't know what makes me mad about him, but
I don't like him.
yeah. I mean, but he's too cocksure, I think,
Yeah.
or something, and
You said
it's
it.
not. It's not charming. It's annoying.
Yeah.
So, that's the worst thing for any character to be annoying.
Yeah, like sometimes there are great supervillains who are like, yes, when somebody shows up. It's awesome when so and so shows up, when the Red Skull shows up.
Right.
But then there are some villains who are like, oh, this douchebag, I hate this guy. Anybody,
I'm trying to think of who annoys me as a villain.
and of course now that I've used that, I can't have an example.
Mhm.
But I think like I experienced that. I'm like, oh man, Dr. Light again.
Mhm.
Even though he's not the best example, but that's
Mhm.
one. I'm like, oh man.
Oh, okay.
It's like I wish Craven. Oh, I wish he would just leave Spidey alone. Like that. Like that's a better one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Good fight. They shoot Hulk with some kind of laser beam, and Doc Samson tells him to shoot, even though he's in the way.
Oh, they use this gas on him.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And so they gas Doc Samson and the Hulk, and are actually able to capture him.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice battle.
Yeah. So when I was reading this, it made me think, okay, people will say, oh, who would win in a fight, Superman or the Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
And they say, well, the Hulk gets stronger the madder he gets, and they're both kind of pretty much physically invulnerable and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot gas Superman. Gas won't work on Superman.
Yeah.
And the Hulk, gas will work on the Hulk.
Unless Hulk has kryptonite, he's gonna lose.
Well, and Hulk have no kryptonite.
Right.
So
I mean, somebody could give him kryptonite, or the gamma radiation turn him into kryptonite.
But
Who knows?
here's the trick. The trick is Superman flies, sucks up some gas from somewhere, and blows it in the Hulk's face.
Yeah.
That's how he wins.
Or the heat vision will blast him, or
It would
something.
slow him down, maybe. It would hurt him, but it wouldn't, stop it.
So is his strength infinite?
The Hulk?
Yeah.
It's
as
only
long as
limited
it's
by his
angry.
rage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. We are doing well on these Hulk. I like Jeff like Hulk.
Good.
Hulk's
Well,
good.
me too. Hulk is really loads of fun. So, and the next issue we've got is, excuse me, the Incredible Hulk number 211. The story is The Monster and the Mystic, written again by Len Wein, with art by Sal Buscema and Ernie Chan.
Oh, interesting. got Dr. Druid.
Yeah, Dr. Druid, who is kind of the poor man's Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and he called us. I'm not as powerful as Doctor Strange, but I still have powers. So.
Well, I think it's like you have to put that in there to qualify it. Like he does have powers and he is cool. He's bald.
Yeah, and he's got a goatee, so you know he's got magical powers.
Of course. He and the Hulk are captives of some wizard someplace, and this guy,
Mahayogi or something, or Mangu?
whatever he is,
Yeah.
he's just villain of the week. But his henchman is some guy the Hulk has fought before. Oh no, the Man-Thing fought, and burned his axe to his hand.
Yeah, that's kind of that would suck. And,
Yeah, it would.
although you never need to buy a razor, you could use the axe. But man, sleeping and all that and eating would be a problem. So.
I know. I'm thinking like when he goes to the John, is there like a special notch for him to like set his like hand and his axe on, while he does his business, like,
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, but he had this.
There's a subplot with Jim Wilson, who was the Hulk's friend.
Yeah. And they mentioned CB radios, which was really big then.
In the
It's
70s.
huge, Yeah.
Yeah, and it's leading to, I think somebody's using Jim to set a trap for the Hulk, and I think he's going to have to fight the Constrictor in the next issue. And the Constrictor is great. I wish we had the next issue.
Mm-hmm.
But this issue is really cool. The Hulk and Dr. Druid are captive of this wizard and his henchman. I think it's Torgo or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right, but it'll do for now.
Mongu, I think.
Mongu, okay. And the Hulk is in these big manacles in the dungeon, and then turns back to... Dr. Druid helps him turn back into Bruce Banner so they can escape.
Mm-hmm.
And...
they escape, but they get captured right again because Bruce Banner is still Bruce Banner. So what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And Betty leaves Ross.
Yeah, she leaves the Hulkbuster base. This is another subplot.
Mm-hmm.
And she's, I guess, distraught over her failed marriage with Glenn because Glenn's a vegetable. And she's bailing. She's going to go find herself. And which means Bruce won't know where to find her. And that will be another plot line that we can employ later. It's very smart. Good job, Len Wein.
Yeah, okay.
So, but the Bruce Banner is set. They want him to fight the big henchman guy.
Yeah.
And he's a wimp, so the guy socks him once and ow, like.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then he turns into the Hulk.
Right.
And
I didn't see that coming. That's a pretty good fight.
Yeah, it is.
Mongo gives a good fight against Hulk, although he's surprised when he smacks him with the axe. Nothing happens.
Yeah, he still gets it handed to him.
Yeah. So Dr. Druid lost a lot of power, turning Hulk into Bruce Banner.
Yeah. But he can still levitate stuff, and so he ties up the main wizard with like ropes from like curtains or something.
And he drops the Jewel of Jeopardy.
Yeah, which was the source of his power. This wizard was really old, and this had kept him young and alive.
We have a Twinkie alert. We'll go back to it.
Okay.
So Hulk picks up the Jewel of Jeopardy and crushes it.
He's like, bah!
Yeah.
And then the wizard turns all old.
Yeah.
Really old.
Mm-hmm.
And Tongu and him, picks him, faithful Tongu picks him up and carries him away. And then, whatever.
Yeah, well, I thought Mungo's loyalty was touching.
Yeah. Because the wizard guy had, rescued him from oblivion or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, he had been beaten by the
Man-Thing, right?
Man-Thing, and he was scared. And a gladiator is not supposed to be scared.
That's right. The fear he had burned the axe to his hand, and he was shamed in front of all his gladiator friends, and so he was went into exile and in despair, and then the wizard gave him purpose again, which was cool.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, Dr. Druid and the Hulk escape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Twinkie alert.
We have a great Twinkie alert. I mean, this is one of the creepiest monsters. It's the Sorcerer's Apprentices.
Yeah, so Captain America is fighting these monsters.
Yeah,
these cupcake-hating monsters, apparently.
Oh, they love cupcakes. They just don't like Captain America.
Because they're commies, apparently.
Yeah, or something. I don't. Yeah, but sorcerer.
Yeah, it's lame.
But the monsters themselves are pretty cool, and then they multiply. So.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah,
You
but
remember that cartoon, The Sorcerer's Apprentice? The mop monster, or the mop
yeah,
thing
yeah,
kept
yeah.
multiplying. So that made sense.
Yeah, but they are
It's
no match against the power of the chocolate uh, devil's food cake. So,
yeah,
oh, yeah. Okay, but that was a goodie.
yeah. More Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's Hulk number 238. The story is Kill or Be Killed, written by Roger Stern, with art again by Sal Buscema, and inked by Mike Esposito.
Yeah. There's a wonderful South African kung fu film called I think it's Kill or Be Killed, and there's Kill and Kill Again. They're horribly awful, but they're super fun.
South African.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you never saw that happen. It came out in the 70s. Actually saw it in the theater, but it was
Okay.
man, it was it's hilariously bad.
Well, okay.
Um,
So
but
the Hulk is fighting the Machine Man, who is a good guy.
yeah, Evil Corporation, which is
A mainstay of the comic book world and real life.
yeah, it's almost cliche, and
Yeah.
and it's getting tiresome. This is Evil Corporation was kind of getting to be a villain in this time period, but now
Yeah.
it's like it's always a villain. So ho hum, think
Yeah.
of something new.
Well, at this time it kind of was new. So
Yep. So it was okay.
great fight with the Machine Man. I can't remember why the Hulk and Machine Man are fighting. Oh, Hulk thinks Machine Man was a bad guy who had hurt his friend.
Right.
Okay.
He was actually a good guy. So
Yeah. As created by Jack Kirby in his adaptation for 2001: A Space Odyssey for Marvel.
Really.
Well, it was spun. He did an adaptation, and then it was a series. And in I think the 6th issue of the series, I think something like that, Machine Man is created, and then more Kirby craziness happens, and it's great.
Okay.
It's a series that I really would like to read in its entirety.
Mhm.
I've read an issue or two,
Yeah.
but Machine Man's great. So
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got an evil corporation guy. He's sitting on his triangular um, skyscraper using binoculars and watching the fun. So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, they got to make sure that I don't know. I think are they manipulating the Hulk to try and destroy the Machine Man?
Yeah.
Because the Machine Man is the enemy of this corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So
And they're getting the Hulk Smashers.
is it Hulk Smashers or the Hulk Busters?
Hulk Busters, excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's going to be Thunderbolt Ross,
Yeah.
who is not seen in this issue, I don't think.
No. I don't think
But
so.
give him time.
Oh, but there's a spy and Machine Man throws him to this swimming pool. And they have a little story. Told you not to fill the swimming pool up this time of year.
It's too early,
Yeah,
you know.
he says, "Let me alone. I'll fill it if I want to. If it's in December." And the minion falls into the swimming pool.
So that saves his life.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's comic relief.
Yeah.
So,
this is a really enjoyable issue. I'm really, as much as I like Herb Trimpe on the Hulk, I think I prefer Sal Buscema. I like his art a lot.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Hulk doesn't understand about power lines, and
Apparently not.
So he goes underground and he rips up these power lines, and there's a gas leak, and there's a huge explosion, which is a wonderful.
Big splash at the very final page.
Yeah.
And he and the Machine Man are caught in it. And that's kind of where we're left off with this issue. But it's a load of fun. It's a whiz bang issue.
Yeah. Oh, Spider-Man fights Hot Shot on the block. And
Another Twinkie alert.
Yep. Oh. Yeah. Man, Twinkies are good because the villains always have their tongue hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have a Spider-Woman in-house ad. A totally different kind of superheroine.
Yeah. She was introduced in the 70s. And
how different was she?
Well, she was different. Her powers were kind of different than Spidey's, and she has a different, set of origins and stuff. She's cool. I mean, I like Spider-Woman.
Yeah, and really,
we'll have some issues of Spider-Woman to read in the future. So,
Mm-hmm.
So our next And last Hulk issue for this episode is Hulk number 270, and it's The Goliath, the Gargoyle, and the Galaxy Monster, written by Bill Mantlo and art by Sal Buscema.
Mm-hmm.
So the opening scene, there's a subplot. Rick Jones is trying to turn himself into a second Hulk, so he's bombarding himself with gamma radiation, and he's just gonna give himself radiation poisoning. It's not working.
Yeah. Betty Ross, who looks better than she ever has.
I think she's a redhead in this. I don't know why. Because normally she's a brunette, so she's gone redhead.
Yeah, or orange, or is it a dark? Is it dishwater blonde? I don't know. I never liked Betty. Betty Ross is one of my least favorites.
Okay.
I don't know.
I feel like she's largely undeveloped. They just kind of make her the damsel in distress.
I don't hate her. I just don't. I don't care.
Right. That's fine.
Yeah, and so, but so she saves. She's doing better now, and she looks better, and she saves Rick Jones's life.
Yeah.
Or I hope so.
Yeah.
And then here's this Berit, who is a
space
movie star.
Yeah. It's a weird subplot, but the Hulk is in space too. He's been captured by this group of people. They want to go fight this weird monster that's oppressing stuff, and whose chief minion is the Abomination.
Mm-hmm.
And there are three main guys. There's Amphibion.
He was really mean and nasty.
Torgo and was it Dark Crawler or Dark something?
Dark Crawler.
Yeah. I swear, either we read it for the show or I just read it on my own. I read an issue of Fantastic Four where they fought Torgo. I recognize him and his weapon. They're very distinct looking.
I don't remember, but who knows?
Maybe we didn't for the show, but I swear I've read it. So anyway, it don't matter.
Yeah. Well, they're going to fight the Galaxy Master.
That's what it is, the Galaxy Master, and it looks like it's just a big set of teeth in space.
Yeah.
But it's
kind of that was kind of disappointing or something. Yeah. I don't know.
It could be something better. It could be a guy, with a physical form. But the fact that it's kind of incorporeal kind of serves the story, though.
Right. So Hulk is with these three other guys, but Amphibion is really mad against Hulk, and he starts fights. He starts about 3 fights with him or something.
Yeah. I think Amphibion is killed later in this issue.
Is he?
Not by the Hulk.
No.
I think by the Abomination.
No, I think he's got his butt kicked.
Okay, but anyway, we'll just go on. Sorry.
And here's another name, Daedra, Empress of the Sagittarius star system.
Okay.
Oh. But so Hulk fights Abomination.
Yeah.
And then the other 3 fight Megamouth.
Yeah,
the Galaxy
Master,
guy,
the Galaxy Master, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
So Abomination, who is one of my favorite villains.
He's great. I'm glad that he showed up more than once in our Hulk block that we've been doing.
He's doing the same thing like Silver Surfer did for Galactus.
What do you mean?
I mean, he's going around destroying,
he's serving the Galaxy Master. He's kind of, only he's relishing in it.
Right.
Whereas the Silver Surfer did not.
Right.
So he's kind of like Terrax.
Yeah.
Terrax, the Tamer.
And they destroy these planets, and that's why they got to kill the Galaxy Master.
Yeah.
Oh. So Abomination thinks he's beaten up, but no. Hulk. Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets, and Hulk is madder than Hulk has ever been before.
Wow! And so he kicks the holy living crap out of the Abomination.
Yeah, and just a little bit, he just grabs him by the throat, and Abomination begs for help from Galaxy Master.
Yeah.
Which is what they wanted, because now the Galaxy Master has to defend Abomination, and the 3
the other guys
are destroying them. So
Yeah. So that's good.
so then they switch. So the, the other three fight against Abomination.
While the Hulk goes to smash the Galaxy Master, and
Mm-hmm.
it turns into this bat monster, and he
And
smashes it, and it turns into these like,
bat ferrets or worms
yeah, he's a shape shifting thing,
and
and
a cool rock creature.
yeah, but Hulk just smashes him and smashes him.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah.
It even tries to use gamma radiation against the Hulk, but Hulk deflects it back on him, and I think that kills the Galaxy Master.
Yeah, and Abomination is falling into space, and he thinks he's dying.
Sure. Remember, the Abomination had lost a lot of his power
Mm-hmm.
previously, and the Galaxy Master restored it.
Right.
So if he's like losing all that power again, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and very quickly, it might be painful.
Yeah. Oh, Twinkie alert!
Oh yeah,
It's Hostess fruit pies. Captain America and Nick Fury.
against the Trapster.
Yeah, and this big,
I never have seen the Trapster have
this
henchmen.
yeah, big goon, goofy looking guy, and he's Captain America fills his shield with Hostess fruit pies.
And slings it at the bad guys, and then the bad guy releases Nick Fury,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of funny, and the Trapster gets mad.
Yeah, and they run away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but
kids.
I never saw the Trapster have henchmen. I think of him as a henchman, to the Wizard in the Frightful Four.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So,
the amphibian at the very end of the story is looking bad, but he still lives.
oh, okay, I was
Which,
mistaken then.
yeah, that's
Did you see that who the Hulk will meet in the next issue? Rocket
Betty
Raccoon.
White.
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have the next one, but I think it's referenced in an issue we'll talk about next week.
Okay.
So our very last comic for today is a real treat. We've got Golden Age crime comics, and this is Justice Traps the Guilty, number 27, from a company called Prize Comics.
Mhm.
Remember back in the 40s and 50s, there were many comic book publishers, and this is one of them that was around at the time, but obviously no longer.
Yeah.
So this is based on true crime stories, allegedly.
Yeah.
Um,
Very allegedly.
Yeah, I couldn't find any writing credits for any of these stories, which was really sad. But I was able to get the artist, so that was good.
Okay.
And the lead story is called Sky Smugglers, and the art is by Marvin Stein.
Oh,
This was a cool story. I don't remember a lot of the details. It's been about a week for me, but
yeah. Okay. This guy owns a Corin Air Freight. Mr. Corin has
that's right.
two sons. One
Yeah.
is hardworking, and the other one's a goofball mess up. And
yeah,
so there's something going on down south of the border,
South
Yeah.
America.
and the ne'er do well goes and finds out it's a smuggling operation. He thinks it's his father.
Yeah,
So he, like they do in all these things,
They-
he goes undercover and tries to figure it out,
Yeah.
and finds out it's actually his brother doing it.
the hard-working brother was actually the scumbag, and the layabout is actually the hero.
Mhm. Yeah, the mustache people. Well, you knew that the brother was bad because he had a pencil-thin mustache.
Yep, pretty much. That's
I'm trying to think of a good guy I can think of who has a pencil-thin mustache, who is a good guy. And
Well,
nothing comes.
Vincent Price wasn't always the bad guy, was he? Was he always the heavy?
Um,
Wasn't he good in The Bat? Wasn't he a good guy in that?
maybe.
And in The Last Man on Earth, he's a good guy. I know
Maybe.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's.
He's the only pencil-thin mustache guy
Hmm.
that I could think of who ever played a good guy.
Yeah,
It's a sign of villainy. But
You
since
know,
he
they-
always played the heavy so much,
they shouldn't. I think it would be better for have normal-looking people be evil because that's more true.
sure.
Now, Ted Bundy was a nice-looking guy
Yeah.
and charming, but
Yeah.
pure evil. Okay.
It's so funny. You are an employee at Warner Pacific College. I am a student here. There are two connections to this school with Ted. There's a student here who, her family, on another side, were the folks that adopted Ted Bundy,
Mhm.
and there is a gal who works here who went out with Ted, who will remain anonymous. But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, that is freaky.
yeah. Well, he was from around here.
Yeah.
He was from like Oregon, Washington. So
Yeah. What is? Yeah.
he was a
So
total
that's what.
sociopath. That people thought he was such a charmer. You
Hmm.
know. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Creepy.
I'm not a actually knew a serial killer. I've told you this story.
You either told me about the serial killer or the Chimo.
Okay, but they're both true. I know, and here I am as a shy, retiring guy and working in the library, and I know a serial killer and a child molester.
Was this at NC State? Was a serial killer?
Um, it was at Rock.
Raleigh, North
Hmm.
Carolina. Tell the story. It's okay.
Oh, a buddy of mine worked with this guy, Drew Planton,
Hmm.
and I met him. Seemed like this regular, goofy hippie guy, and I broke bread with him a couple times. Talked to him. Seemed okay.
Yeah.
And one day, my friend called and says, "Drew is arrested for murder," and I was thinking, "What in the world?" And there was tremendous amount of media about it,
Sure.
and I said, "What's going on?" It's just it's a murder's bad. No, Raleigh's big town, but
Sure.
there's a lot. So I asked a cop friend, and he said after he killed the girl, he posed her, took pictures,
Ooh.
stole her laundry basket full of stuff.
Yeah.
So they knew that this was a sex, and all the guys at his work were shocked, but the girls there were kind of creeped out by it.
Right.
And that's something. Trust your instincts, and
Yeah.
that's interesting that they thought that. If you'd asked me
Well, see,
before
some
that,
people you think are creepy and they're perfectly harmless,
hmm
though. So you can't always judge
right, you
that.
can't. Yeah, but don't ignore it.
Well, right. But then again, people thought Ted Bundy was charming. They couldn't believe that he was a
Hmm
murderer. So
True. But if you'd asked me, somebody before this, somebody is definitely a murderer, and I approve, and he would have been way down on my list
yeah.
of possible suspects of that.
So he was a serial killer.
He
He killed
may
several girls.
he may have killed another one where he came from in the Midwest,
Oh,
and
right.
he killed himself. And that's the only time in my life I was really glad somebody was dead.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked
Yeah. I
about
don't.
that.
I'm of the feeling you should never celebrate somebody dying, even
Yeah,
if they're awful. But yeah.
I was happy, and I think it's probably the best thing. I
Because you
felt
were
bad about being happy about it, but I was happy, and
that he didn't never got a chance to get anybody else.
yeah, or drag other people into this mess and make a
Right.
huge long
Yeah.
trial, which is
Right.
just horrible too, and
Right.
yeah,
But if there were other victims, like if he'd have gone to trial and been put in prison, they could have used him to find, some of the cold cases. That's what they do with like the Green
yeah,
River Killer and stuff.
that's
Um,
possible,
but yeah, so you were friendly with this person, and then you
yeah,
found out he was a murderer.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, ooh,
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
heebie-jeebie
kinda.
time.
It was. It
So,
was.
so the next story in this book is Death by Proxy, with art by Mo Marcus and Jack Abel.
Yeah. Pencil thin mustache alert.
Man, Jack Abel, I tell you, he had such a long and prolific career in comics.
Get it?
Oh yeah,
Hmm. But
mostly as an inker, I think.
okay. They make this sick girl and she's gonna die, so they
Oh, it's an insurance scam.
yeah,
They
and then she won't die soon enough, so they kill her and just shorten it.
And they make it think that it was this guy's wife, and they use this
Mhm.
girl to cash on this guy's wife's insurance policy,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna skip town and live the high life or whatever. But there are complications.
Yeah. So her sister shows up, and it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, but it is a great saying. This is what all these in crime mags are talking about.
Yeah.
Is that John Cooper kept that date because he kept the date with a rope,
Oh.
proving again the old saying that the man who can cheat justice has been born and never will be. I'm not sure that's
Yeah.
an old saying.
No,
but
every single one of these stories ends like justice is served, and like
yeah.
crime can never be, like not, will always be
Yeah, I
thwarted.
wonder
I'm
if
like,
that
well,
works. Yeah.
it's a nice like sentiment. It'd be nice if it was true, but it's kind of cool to like It's almost like putting a disclaimer into this, like we do not approve of like the.
Right.
We're entertained by this story, but don't think that this is a good lifestyle choice or a
Yeah.
good. I can use this to.
Mhm.
I'll just do it this differently, and I'll get away with it.
Enjoy these delicious cigarettes, but they're bad for you.
They're
the-
packed with flavor.
yeah,
Viceroy.
yeah. the the shadow at the very end is just the weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay. The shadow knows. And they do that at the very end. It's and that's my favorite because it's kind of
That's
poetic.
enjoyable. We'll have actually a couple of Shadow comics to
Ooh,
talk
I'm
about.
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I love the Orson Welles. They're not great, but they're very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got a story about the Treasury Department, the
Yeah.
T-Man Blitz.
yeah,
It's
That's
a story
kinda-
about counterfeiters. It's a cool story, though.
yeah.
Uh,
I don't think anyone cares. I mean, it's not who counterfeiters. I worry about it. No one.
right, but they're just telling true crime stories. Does every story have to be about murder?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when you read Tales from the Crypt, like almost every story is like, I got a new girl and I killed my wife for the insurance money. That's like
Yeah.
the formula that happens
Mhm.
like in almost all of those stories.
Right.
But although those are great
Yeah.
comics, and then they come back as a ghoul to kill
Mhm.
me while I'm enjoying my ill-gotten gains.
Yeah.
That
Hey.
happens in every Tales from the Crypt, I
Mhm.
swear.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know. We can just gloss over this, but the
Yeah.
true crime is a cool kind of thing. I wish it would come back in comics. There's another story about mail fraud that's actually a really good story, and I like that the very last story in this book, the Houdini of the Underworld. If you want to talk
Oh.
about that,
Um.
the mail fraud story was good, but
Yeah, that's.
Mort Meskin did the art on that,
Mhm.
so he's cool. Another long and storied career in comics.
Mm-hmm. They're fairly well drawn. It's kind of. If there was a Batman thing, you'd be happy.
Well,
something.
yeah. I mean, this is the late Golden Age. This is the early 50s. So this is when I think the height of art in the Golden Age was really,
Mhm.
really happening. You know, a lot of the stuff in the 40s is like, well, it's really hit or miss. There's some really great art and there's some really crummy
Yeah,
stuff.
looks like your cousin drew it. Or something.
Yeah. And I think especially the early stuff in the late 30s, it's kind of they were just anybody who could draw, whether they were real good or just okay. They just wanted because there was such a boom in the industry, they couldn't get, people to do art fast enough,
Yeah.
So they just needed people. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see how things evolved. The post-war years, the superhero comics really fell into decline. Most of all that just went away,
Yeah.
and then crime and horror comics really took the place until, of course, the witch hunts and the code
Mhm.
implementation. But this is a neat piece of history. I enjoyed this. We've got another issue of Justice Traps the Guilty for next week. And I'm thinking later. I actually have a couple of issues of Crime Does Not Pay that we'll
Yeah.
talk about in the
Mhm.
future. And that was a million seller a month. Think about a comic book that sold 1 million copies every month,
Man.
and there were lots of comics that sold that well.
Now, what is it, 16,000?
Yeah. Now you're lucky. Now a really hot hit book will sell maybe 20 grand, or 20,000 copies
Mm-hmm.
if you're lucky, and it's a incredibly small fraction of what it used to be, because even so not that popular comics in, say, the Silver Age were still selling 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
A book that
Yeah.
was a title that was flagging or failing was selling 20,000
Yeah, well,
back then.
not comic books. I mean, they're a loss leader, and they exist mainly to sell movies. I think.
Yeah, and it's a very specialized market. Although I think now more people are checking out digitally, and I think the industry is starting to bounce back. But it's also in a weird transition period too.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how.
Yeah,
We
I-
could see the end of comics.
I think single issues might go away. I don't think trade paperbacks will go away, but I think
Really?
people might get the individual issues like digitally, and
I see.
like the single issues might come out that way.
Mhm.
That could happen within 10 years. You never know.
Yeah.
But I think for the people that still want to hold it in their hands, there will be the trades and the hardcovers.
Right.
You know, and I will always be that guy. I mean, digital fine if it's free, but I don't want to pay for something I can't hold.
Right.
You know, that's crap.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know, it's more fun I don't know, it's more fun with paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful how to hypnotize. And
there's a very suggestive ad here.
Yeah, there's a beautiful girl in a nightgown.
Yeah.
So I wonder what he wants to hypnotize her for.
Get his social security number. Play the numbers.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Who knows? No.
Man.
Make her act like a chicken.
Yeah.
That's got to be it.
Yeah. No one. Yeah. What else would you do with a girl?
Yeah. So, Jeff. What did we learn today?
Oh, crime does not pay, and there might be such a thing as
and justice traps the guilty.
Yes. Okay. Oh,
there might be such a thing as
Hulk smashes.
He sure does.
Yeah, he's the strongest there is.
Yeah, I did learn today that the Hulk is vulnerable to gas.
That's interesting. Yeah, and the bad poetry.
Yeah.
Actually, the poetry Droog was enjoyable.
Yeah.
We should have.
And boy, Silver Age Green Lantern is the tits.
Yeah.
You know, really good.
We should we should make a reading of Etrigan and Droog's poetry.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
That'd be great to have somebody with a really good voice.
Yes.
Not me.
Well, I'm sure we could find someone somewhere.
Yeah.
This has been Comic Reflections. Thank you for listening. Good luck and good night.